Hey, Bob,
Yeah.
what's the plan for finding Reggie? I mean, it's gonna be tough tracking him down without anything to go on. Yeah.
But he's black. How many fucking black people you think there are in Iceland? We just stand around here and keep our eyes open.
It's not much of a plan, Bob. You don't think we should try?
There he is.
These are cold hard times. These are cold hard times. I heard my brother died last week, or was that just a rumor? From an overdose of hate taken in his veins. I heard the preacher said God must have a sense of humor, 'cause when they put him in the grave it didn't even rain. It's a cold
We're black belt in jiu-jitsu, motherfuckers!
You don't put up much of a fight, do you? Fucking Stephen Hawking could knock you out.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Well, you kind of have to be.
I guess I should count myself lucky he didn't put me in a fucking chokehold or some shit.
Shut up. So Iceland, what the fuck?
I wasn't thinking straight.
No shit.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Fly By Films. I'm your host, co-host, Jamison Barsotti, and with me over in the soon-to-be destination of the Great American Escape, something like that. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
But
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, is my friend Blake Collier, and he's in Tulsa. And today, dear listeners, we are going to be continuing our journey through the films of the McDonagh Brothers. So we'll be discussing two McDonagh Brothers movies, one from John Michael McDonagh, which is going to be War on Everyone, and another one from Martin McDonagh, which is going to be Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Or as I called it, Billboards.
Billboards. Yes.
Yeah. Highly
we'll get
controversial films, these two.
One of them is more controversial than the other, though.
That's because it got more fanfare.
Yeah, for the simple reason because of that no one has seen one of these movies except for us.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get into that. But I guess I wanted to start today with a simple question, Blake.
Okay.
How have you been sleeping lately?
Well, it was interesting. We had guests in our house all weekend for a consecration of our new bishop, and so they came in from Knoxville, Tennessee. We had never met them before, but they needed a place to stay because they were a part of the service, and so we had guests. And honestly, I slept a lot this weekend, and yet I was still exhausted by the end of it. Which I don't know how that happens, but I think it's just the introverted soul in me. Having people in the house 24/7 for a period of time wears on me, and so yeah, any amount of sleep I may have gotten was completely sucked out by extroversion. So, on the whole, though, I've been sleeping fairly well. How about you, Jamison?
Yeah, I've been sleeping okay. Hazel's been waking up a lot, and that's one thing. But it's all right. I think most of my bad sleep, and I know what you mean too. Like, but most of my bad sleep is based because of my own damn fault, because I stay up too late or don't take advantage of. Yeah, well, I haven't played Zelda in a while actually because I've been too busy. But too busy. I don't know what that means. But yeah, I'll stay up late and think like, oh, the nighttime is when I get to do things. Mm-hmm. And then that's not really true. The nighttime is when I should be sleeping so that I do things with excellence tomorrow. Excellence. Fine. I do things okay instead of just falling asleep, in the middle of the day. But I've definitely experienced what you're talking about, too, when you get too much sleep or you get a lot of sleep and you're just tired still. And usually in my case, what that comes from is my body is like working on a deficit and it's not that I'm getting sleep to be more rested. I'm getting sleep and my body is trying to fill that deficit. And I think what happens is it realizes how poor my sleep is. And so I wake up just feeling like absolute crap.
Well, and what's so funny is that, like, for me, it's not so much... I've felt that way, too. Actually, when I sleep more than probably about 8.5, 9 hours, I tend to be more tired than if I'd just gotten up at, like, 7 or 8 hours. But this time, like, I felt really good after both nights of sleep. Like... From the Friday into Saturday night this last weekend, I slept I went to bed because I was exhausted Friday night at 8. And I slept until 7:15. So I nearly got 12 hours and I woke up and I felt really good. But by the end of that day, I felt exhausted. And I got another good night of sleep on Saturday into Sunday. But man, by the end of Sunday, man, I was just blasted. I was like, so I don't know if it was deficit. I don't know if it was just constantly, having people in the house and having to like be there and present for people that I've never really met before. I don't know.
How did sharing your house with strangers go?
That was fun.
All right.
Perfectly sweet people.
Very good.
They had a little girl that was Seamus's age, so they got to play.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was fun.
Yeah. Well, cool. I wanted to wrap back to that comment I made in the intro. I was reading about how Oklahoma is going to be the new California/Florida when it comes to theme parks, and you guys are getting the Great American Adventure or whatever the fuck it's called. It's something like
American Heritage Park, some stupid shit like that. Yeah, no, my wife told me about this, and it's actually not far away from where her parents live.
Okay.
Like, we're talking the place that Seamus goes usually one night a week to be with his grandparents. Like, I can only imagine how the traffic is going to be a bitch once this place is open.
Oof. Yeah.
So.
But I mean, what's like the project or the projection on like time
for this
thing to be built?
It'll probably be like 3 or 4 or 5 years, I would imagine, before it's open.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably longer. I haven't read that much on it, but I just know that it's in the works and it's supposed to be huge. And my wife is weirdly optimistic about some things, in that she's like, well, hey, at least it's one of those things we could take our kids to instead of having to travel all the way to California or Florida for Disney World or Disneyland, and then we have a fun story that we can tell once we get back after we have to correct all of their historical understandings of American past. So
Yeah. Yeah, so is that like is that the theme of the park? Like the American myth? Is that like I guess.
I wish it was that, because at least it'd be more honest. I think the people who are putting this together probably believe whatever propaganda they're going to try to sell us. Like, we're talking like probably the worst sort of American nationalistic, like, BS. Like, think of O'Reilly's history books or Rush Limbaugh's history books for kids. It's probably going to be in that same vein.
Yeah, I didn't ever experience those books, but there was oh man, I was homeschooled, so we had all these like conservative books.
Did you have William Bennett?
I think that what?
William Bennett?
No, not William Bennett. There was the kind of main one was Abeka books, which you might be familiar with. You've probably heard of Pensacola Christian College. It's in Florida, in Pensacola.
Gotcha.
They, my sister went for like a semester to that college, and it was so, she couldn't handle it. It was like, I mean, I think you guys, Tulsa, it's not Bob Jones in Tulsa. It's
Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts. Yeah, Oral Roberts. I get them mixed up all the time.
Oh, it's understandable because they were pretty similar in their political views. So.
Yeah. But Pensacola Christian College is just kind of another one of those types where, like, you know, the men and women have to essentially like walk on different sidewalks and things like that. You know. Mm-hmm. I know it's not that bad, but there are things that are you know, shocking to normal people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they produced this like these series of curriculum books called the Abeka books, and I'm sure it stood for something. But the ones that I remember, like the history ones, weren't Abeka ones. It was like written by this one guy. I don't remember, but I don't even know why we were using them as history books. They were, because they weren't very rigorous. They were called like The Light and the Glory. I don't know. If anyone out there remembers these things, I think they were like big in conservative Christian homeschool groups, because I remember seeing them a lot, and then I don't remember what happened to them. Anyway, but yeah, they were trash. They were all about.
No, surely not. Not with a name like Light and the Glory.
The Light and the Glory. They were supposed to be like novels or some sort of, you know, they weren't novels, they weren't historical fiction, but they weren't textbooks.
Oh, no, I found it. Peter Marshall and David Manuel.
Oh, yeah.
1492 to 1793, God's Plan for America.
Yeah.
Revised and expanded edition in case you wanted it.
Nope. Oh, man. I know what I'm going to make my book club read next.
Oh, no. No.
For those not in the know, Blake recently joined my book club, and so he would be forced to read that.
I would read it. Yeah. I would read it. I'd cringe.
I
would read it.
I don't want to waste my turn on that.
That's fair.
I want to, yeah.
Plus, I didn't think our book club was nonfiction. I thought it had to be fiction.
Actually, I don't think there are any rules on that.
Oh.
We just haven't had, well, some doofus chose the Book of Matthew last year.
Well, but that's I mean, most people consider that fiction, even though I disagree. But
yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone in our book club would straight up put it in the same group as like as fiction. So,
but it's not really non-fiction either.
Yeah,
it's a religious text. It's a sacred text.
Exactly. No, and my friend who chose it, it was actually an interesting choice. We read it and then we discussed it and we had some good times. So I don't mean to call my friend a doofus, but we just kind of rib him for that choice because it was a weird off the wall choice. But yeah, we're not like specifically fiction books. I just don't think anyone has chosen a nonfiction yet. So
okay,
something to consider when it's your turn, Blake.
Oh no, I already know what mine is going to be.
Ooh.
I don't know when it's going to happen, but I already know. So.
Yeah. I think I could figure it out. Yeah, it'll probably be in like a year and a half.
Yeah, sounds
when
right.
It'll be your turn. Because we read so slowly. And I'm not joking. Like,
oh yeah, no, I have no doubt.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, so I mean, in any case, even if they believe that that's like the history of America, it is going to be about the American myth, which is maybe interesting in the context of this episode, but we can get to that later.
But the problem is that it's interesting if we understand it as a observation and a study of how myth is created and propagated. Mm-hmm. It's not interesting whenever the person basically says it's true, period.
Yes, it's not interesting to be in that environment. Maybe I think it's interesting to watch people do that.
Oh, yeah. It's endlessly fascinating because it happens all the time on all sides of the political spectrum, to be honest. So, yeah. Well, I will avoid that book. Thank you for enlightening me to another book I need to avoid. I'll add it to the pile. I've got 2 piles. Books I don't want to avoid and books I do want to avoid.
Blake, I like that you're so thorough that you're like, I am going to go through every book and I am going to sort them into one of these things. And I appreciate any guidance in sorting these. Whereas in my mind, I'm just like, I've never heard of that book. I will never read it. It essentially doesn't exist anymore, or to me.
Well, I mean, if you really want to talk about that, what does exist?
I don't know. Man.
I mean, if you're Bishop Berkeley back in the 1700s, whatever it was, he thought that anything that we sensed, once we stop sensing it, no longer exist. The only, how he's actually one of my favorite philosophers, not because I believe him and hold to his understanding, but I think it's fascinating. How he gets around the whole idea of a world that exists outside of our sensory information. He says God is the all-seeing, all-sensing power. So because even if I turn my back to this door that's behind me and I can't see it, it still exists because God is still sensing it and has sensed it and will continue to sense it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have to admit that's like a clever
It's incredible
solution
clever,
to
which is why I
a
like
problem that it's a clever solution to a problem that doesn't need to exist.
And yeah,
which
Enlightenment philosophers is that's all they ever thought about. How do we know things are real and exist? Yeah.
Oh man. I'm reading the book Gödel Escher Bach right now.
Yeah, one of our mutual friends is doing the same, and he told me that he has to constantly message you to explain it to him.
Yeah, it's basically about it. So for those who haven't read this book, it's about the foundations. Well, it's not about the foundations of math, but it basically connects everything to the foundations of math. And man, I say this as a mathematician, but like some mathematicians need to get their heads out of their asses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That goes for every field.
Yeah. It's fine, and it's gotten people to interesting places, and there's actually interesting things, like Gödel's theorem is actually quite amazing. It truly is. It's on the level of, like, of special relativity and stuff like that. It's really a amazing and fascinating thing and a genius result. But the stuff that got us there is annoying as hell. Which is really funny. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there are two Jamies inside of me, and one of them is fascinated by this stuff, and one of them is like, none of this stuff matters. Just stop thinking about it.
That's why we get along.
Yeah.
Because there are two people inside of me that have similar feelings about the things I think about.
Yeah. I mean, bringing it back to what this podcast is about, like, I feel like that is the central tension to me about this, which is film criticism is so annoying sometimes. It's so up in its ass about, like, these details that don't actually matter to watching a film, and especially when it comes to, like, criticism of these films too. It's like, make your own damn movie. Like, there's still things that it's still kind of a minor miracle that this thing exists, that someone was able to, like, put this film into existence. And you're getting upset because they use the color red way too much. I don't know. I think that, and I know I'm being flippant here, but that's where I have this tension, which is like, I don't want to think about film, but I want to appreciate it. I don't want to think about film in that way, where I'm annoyed by things, but I want to appreciate it on a deep level, and I don't know how to get there. And so, I don't know.
You wouldn't dare be saying that this podcast is meaningless.
No, it's not. The role that it fills is you and I talk about movies as close as I feel like two bros broing it up talking about movies can get in a somewhat formal setting.
Fair
right
enough.
And to me, I feel like that's something that's missing in the film talk sphere, because I'll listen to other podcasts and I'll do things, and they focus so much on breaking everything apart into meaningless detail, in my opinion. I mean, not really. Like, again, you get to interesting things with these things, with breaking everything apart, but it sometimes doesn't feel worth it.
Yeah. That's why I stopped listening to movie podcasts a while back. For that very reason. Because it either it started sounding increasingly reactionary in a really uninteresting political way, or it was getting too into the weeds. Yeah. It was a wank fest, basically. And just yesterday, I actually deleted all my podcasts, and I'm just gonna listen to music.
Oh wow,
that's happened before, but I just get tired of podcasts. I get tired of all the voices in my head. I mean, so I shut out some of them. There's still voices up here, though. They tell me to kill.
Kill all your podcasts, Blake.
Exactly. Yeah.
Put them in the incinerator.
So I listened to music all day today. You know what I listened to today? I listened to Midwestern punk, post-punk, and post-hardcore music. All day long.
Wow.
Bands I'd never even heard of.
New ones or old ones?
Like 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, we're talking, like, the most known, and there's only one song, and I think it was off their very first album was The White Stripes.
Okay.
That was the most, like, the Screaming Mimes was one I knew about. But yeah, most of the bands I'd never heard of. And so I was like, all right, I'm good with this. This is itching.
Nice.
This is itching a scratch that I didn't know I needed. So, yeah, it was enjoyable. I think I'm gonna explore music more, I think, in the coming days. So.
Nice. And I guess I want to like take back some of the things that I said. I know I can't do that, but I know a lot of people put a lot of work into their thoughts and the thoughts they put out into the world, and I do want to honor that. I think people should keep doing that and keep trying, but as with this podcast, I don't think just doing that makes things interesting. So,
but I also don't think I don't think people know what criticism is anymore. It's just a lot of hot takes, which, coming from me, is real rich because I'm the king of hot takes. But whenever like you're writing 800 to 1,200 words of nothing but hot takes, it gets old very quickly.
Yeah, and I see that. I think I was reading an article in the Atlantic that was basically talking about how that's kind of ruining film criticism, and I kind of agree.
Was it their film critic who wrote it?
I don't know. It was someone named Adam Costco.
Okay, then it wasn't the film critic guy. Their film critic is actually, I mean, in the world of modern day film critics, he's not bad. I can't remember his name, but he's pretty good.
Okay. It was some guy that I remembered from Twitter when I was there, and I remembered that I did not like this person
nice.
for some of their takes. So I was taking it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But
there's really only one person I read on the Atlantic. So, and that's Brunig.
Yeah. Is Brunig still at the Atlantic?
Yep, she is.
Okay. Nice.
Racking up those Pulitzer nominations right and left.
Wow. Man. Isn't she writing she wrote a book, and It's coming out, right? Oh,
Yeah,
what is it called?
It's just a compiled. It's a compilation of her death row writings that nearly won her a Pulitzer. It's not a new book. Like, it's not new writings. You can read them all in the Atlantic. They just put them together into a book. So
I still need to get that, because
yeah, it's good shit.
Then I can have them. Yeah, no, her writings about the death penalty are super inspiring.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I get chills thinking about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. Man, I'm like in that mode where you're like tired but you don't give a fuck.
That's the best place to be.
It's good. I just worry that in 5 minutes I'll like lose all of my gas. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling.
Well, I feel like there's enough going on with these two movies that once we get to once we get past the opening bullshit, I think you'll be invigorated by whatever slightly more interesting and thoughtful bullshit comes out afterwards.
I have so many questions written down, Blake.
Oh god.
So many questions.
I have no questions written down. Because
right.
I don't come to these podcasts prepared.
Well, I don't
slightly more prepared this time. Because you enlightened me to a question you were going to ask, but even then I put in very minor prep work. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't have rules. So there are no rules. We can start the movie talk anytime.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we're only. I mean, it's not like we're cutting the intro BS by 15 minutes. I mean, big fucking deal.
BFD.
BFD.
You know?
Big friendly.
Discount of 15 minutes.
There you go. Less painful for everyone.
Yeah. Everyone gets to cash in on that
except
discount
for apparently
right
your
now.
wife, who thinks that it's completely fine, and she's probably listening right now while she paints or tends to Hazel.
He was screaming about 15 minutes ago, but he has calmed since.
Yeah, I heard him briefly.
Yeah, he's such a good boy. I love him so much. He's at that stage. I know we said we were going to give people time back, but we're not. He's at this stage.
Real quick before we tell the story, a good friend of mine, Kevin Cooney, out in Boston, whoop whoop, has been catching up on these episodes, and and he specifically told me in an email that he was really appreciative of all the parenting talk. So I just want to put that out there. Just slide it in.
The way you said it makes me wonder if that email said the exact opposite of what you just...
No,
okay.
Completely 100% serious. Any tone I had in my voice was me being... that was the other Blake that was trying to subvert the other Blake. But no, this guy was 100% sincere.
Well, Blake, I've never known you to lie to me twice, so because you doubled down, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to believe you.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if he hates all the parenting talk, I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Damn right.
I'll double down. Well, this goes out to you, Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, my son is just at this really amazing stage right now. So he's 8 months. He'll be 9 months the end of this month. Probably around the same time that you will have a new kid. But he's at this stage where you know in life when you like wake up and you think about the things you have to do, and there are some things that you look forward to, and there's some things that you don't look forward to. And the things that you look forward to really, really get you going and bring joy to your life. And maybe you see a friend that you haven't seen in a while, and you feel reinvigorated. And you're like, this is what life is about.
Yeah.
Well, my son is at the stage where he doesn't have a lot going on, but the things that he looks forward to in life are seeing mom and dad.
Yeah, buddy.
And they are the highlight of his life. He sees us and he just lights up and he's like, oh, I can't believe my favorite people in the whole world are here right now. What are the odds? I can't believe I get to see them today. And it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
And you
I don't
what?
know how long this is gonna last,
Oh,
but like,
it'll last a while.
okay,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll shift shapes over the years and over the months, but like even Seamus to this day, 2 years and 8 months into life, he still gets excited when he sees us and he's like, Mommy, Daddy, Seamus, Mommy, Daddy. And he'll just, whenever we call him on FaceTime or something like that, when he's with the grandparents, like his face will brighten up. And yeah, that's something that doesn't go away, at least until probably middle school, high school.
yeah. Once they get self-aware,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but there is like an awareness too. Like before this stage, I think there was just kind of like a go with the flow, and now what it is like he looks forward to things in life. He like wants to do exciting things, and we're just at the top of that list because we're so lucky, I guess. I mean, it makes sense. Like we care for him and stuff, but I guess I would hope that it means we're doing like a decent job, So anyway,
Getting that good attachment.
Yeah.
That's key.
So that is something that has been keeping me going, for example. So
Amen. I can second that as well.
yeah.
It's so weird because while you're still like a individual person with your own like interests and like desires and things like that, you find yourself simultaneously wanting a break from your child, but when that break comes, you actually just end up missing them. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. But
Yeah. It's pretty cool though. Yeah, we this past Saturday we spent the whole day on the nearby lake on a pontoon boat with some friends. Yeah, but it was an adults only thing, so we left Hazel with his grandparents for the whole day, which was the first time that we both had been away. And yeah, we both missed him quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, were the grandparents ready to get rid of him?
you know what? There was a lot of concern going into it, but apparently it was an amazing day.
Beautiful.
And he just was a joy to be around, and there were no breakdowns or anything like that. So yeah, So they were really happy. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfection. Everyone's happy in that world.
Yeah. No, it was good. We were a bit stressed about it because we didn't even know if we were going to have reception on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And we also knew that even if we had reception, there's not really an easy way to get back.
In a timely manner. Yeah.
In a timely manner. Yeah. So.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, let's transition.
How
Movie
does
talk.
one transition to that?
What was that?
How does one transition to that?
I don't know. I'm just going to ask you a question.
Okay, beautiful. Why not?
Like, I was watching these movies, and it's been like a week, so forgive me if I forget details about these movies. But one of these movies takes place in New Mexico,
mm-hmm.
and one of the movies takes place in Missouri,
mm-hmm.
as you could tell by the name. But I guess as I was watching these movies, this question kept coming into my mind, and some of it's tied to the fact that it's at this stage that both brothers seem to be embracing their inner Flannery O'Connor.
Okay, yeah, I could see
and
that.
And they both really kind of like in one of these movies in particular too, one of her books is front and center in one scene. So it pops up. So I had this question as I was watching these movies. What and where is the American South?
This is the one you alerted me to.
Yeah, I have a few others too.
Yeah, I mean, I got my master's in history. I took a few classes on American history, but I mostly was interested in European, British history. So, but I do have strong feelings about what the South is and what it isn't. I do make a distinction between the South, quote unquote, and Southern. I would say, because I come from Texas, a lot of people include Texas in, quote unquote, the South. I disagree with that. I think it's actually just Southern. Now, if you go just east of Texas, you're getting into deep South. We're talking like Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. That's deep South. And this is where like the historical understanding of the South actually kind of comes in. It's the Mason-Dixon line. And so everything south of the Mason-Dixon line is quote-unquote the South. And everything north is quote-unquote the North. But we also have to look at the time it was divided up. Like the full United States hadn't been incorporated at that point. So we're not understanding it. We're not seeing the Mason-Dixon line like all the way across the United States. So we're basically looking at like, I don't know, Texas and up and east-ish with a little bit of exploration in the west. But so yeah, I mean, one could, I guess, make a point that anything south of the Mason-Dixon line, including Texas, is the South. I would disagree. But case could be made for it. I think the Deep South is very much like Georgia, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. like those states up to the
Sure,
Mason-Dixon.
sure, yeah.
So, yeah, that's my answer.
All right. Would you? Because there also seems to be a distinction between geographical South, which is
Yeah.
what you're talking about with Texas. So you definitely wouldn't include like New Mexico or
No.
Arizona in those.
And I
Okay.
wouldn't actually. Missouri is weird because I'm not sure you could really count it as South.
Sure, sure.
Because there's Missouri, kind of like Kansas, has a very conflicted. They were kind of a middle state in a lot of ways during the Civil War, and so, yeah, I'm not sure you could actually say that either of these films, at least in my opinion, take place in the quote unquote South.
Yeah, yeah. But I definitely get the feeling, at least for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, that they're going for the spirit of the South in that movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the reason why I kind of feel like War on Everything is almost Southern adjacent actually has to do with the movie Raising Arizona, which to me is so funny because it's this example of a Southern film. Like it's about the spirit of the South. Like they are Southern characters in that movie, but it takes place in Arizona, and they pull it off really well. Like it feels. I don't know. There's like this Looney Tunes nature to it that kind of brings everything to this I don't know what it is about Looney Tunes, but Looney Tunes feels Southern to me. I mean, maybe it's all just Foghorn Leghorn, but
I could see
you have that.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, I was thinking, well, if Arizona, could be alluded to as the South, I guess New Mexico can. And then I was thinking about kind of modern day South America, and that kind of makes me think of like south of the border or close to the border, and so you could include things like that. And there's like there's a little bit of a cowboy thing related to that. So you have almost other Southern spirits popping up in these things, but definitely Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri has the spirit of the South vibe to it. And I think one thing that strikes me about these movies is how these filmmakers can get these facts so wrong, like about where the South is, and what where it is, and still make a compelling movie.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but so on top of that, I would say that a lot of the confusion around specifically Ebbing, Missouri, but also probably those who did see War on Everybody, or I keep wanting to say War on Everybody, War on Everyone. The Irish directors are not going to see the conflicts in our country the same way that we do. Because as someone who has studied the British and the Irish and to some extent the Scottish and Welsh, they see class first before they see race or gender, or yes, they see race and gender, of course. They're very important, but but class is very much key to their view of society and history and whatnot. And so going into their films, they can be found to be somewhat offensive because they're not striking at the same things that Americans expect for a modern movie to strike at. They're interested in other things, but they're also smart enough to know that I think they're intentionally being provocative.
Yeah.
By utilizing those things that they know American audiences will maybe cringe or be offended by or whatever in order to get at their points. Now, whether or not they make those points effectively, that's something we can talk about. But I think that's what they're doing, is they're getting at bigger issues than the ones we tend to be concerned with in the good old U.S.
Well, maybe not bigger, but definitely different issues.
Oh, different, yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
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 Oh, no, they're bigger too.
No, I thought it was so interesting, and I have it kind of written down just as a note that both of these movies kind of are examples of mythologies and myths from people who didn't grow up in those myths, right? I mean, maybe to a certain extent, especially with War on Everyone, it's essentially a cop fantasy, and we can get into that. And I kept thinking about how American film really took over the world, right? I mean, there's other countries that make good film, but Hollywood spread the message of America and the message of what a movie is more effectively than anything else. Mm-hmm. And so to completely say that these filmmakers didn't live under those myths is probably false. Yeah. Even though these cops, supposedly live in America, I just thought that was interesting. Just the idea of other people coming in and trying to tell our stories. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting if you look at kind of the hubbub about these movies, specifically Ebbing, Missouri, how offended we get when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is, it made me kind of wonder. I wonder how the Irish feel about Hollywood kind of setting the tone for everything.
I don't pretend to know that.
No, yeah, I don't know.
I would assume not great.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do kind of wonder if it's kind of rich for us to kind of get offended at other people telling our stories.
Yeah. Maybe
incompletely or kind of weird or different or wrong in some cases.
Yeah.
When we definitely don't take the precautions to do that with any other country in the world. So
nope, not at all. Yeah. Not only that, but we have a long history of a bunch of white people playing non-white roles. I mean, it's kind of a thing. So maybe first off, knowing the potential traps we're about to step into with this discussion because of the multitudes of ways in which these films trigger discussion of really tough topics. Did you like these films?
Yeah, I like these films. I do. And actually, I made sure ahead of time to do my ranking of these movies. And yeah, I think Three Billboards is a fantastic film. I'm not sure it's a perfect film, and I'm not sure it lands every note, but it's a very good movie, and it it swings for the fences. So
It does.
I really appreciate that. One thing about both of these movies is I just love how much the McDonagh brothers don't feel like they have anyone else telling them what needs to be put in their movies. I think that this is a rare thing. It's getting more rare as we go into the future. And I just feel like we have to treasure the filmmakers who can put something out there like that. So, War on Everything is an interesting film because, spoiler alert, this is probably the weakest film that we've seen in this bunch.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I enjoyed it still.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy every Michael Pena role. I think he's great.
He was great. He was so good. And
it's not the first time he's played a racist cop.
Yeah.
He played it in the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, the serious
End
one.
of Watch.
Yeah, End of Watch.
I remember liking that movie too.
I did too, yeah. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Maybe we should talk about this, just an aside. It's really interesting how easy it is to make a compelling cop movie, but everybody hates cops. Like, I mean, I'm conflicted too, because, I tomorrow I could say ACAB, because I'm just feeling kind of negatively about, certain power structures that I think are way out of whack. But I still get down with these cop shows, cop movies, propaganda, as they say.
I mean, I feel like War on Everyone and The Guard are of a similar piece, though.
Absolutely.
Because he's dealing with bad cops. They're not just bad people, but they're not necessarily good at their jobs either. And but they still end up defeating the bad guy, even though they're shitty at their job.
Yeah. I think The Guard is maybe, I don't even want to say more believable, because I don't think that's the right word.
I think it's more effective.
Maybe more effective, and I wanted to get into this because that is a very, watching it so close to The Guard, so close to the time that I watched The Guard, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense, because when I first watched this movie, I was like, John Michael McDonagh, where the fuck did this come from? But watching it again after I watched The Guard, I was like, oh, this fits. Like, you clearly, were affected by these cop fantasies, in your mind, and you just are excited to make these things because they're fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was thinking, why is The Guard a better movie than War on Everyone? And I guess I have a few thoughts, but if you have anything, you can chime in too.
I'm not sure I have a really good answer for that. So if you got something to go off of, I can maybe riff off of it.
Sure. I mean, the one thing that I have is like Michael Pena is like his own character.
Yeah.
He's singular in the movie. I don't think he has a good counterpart in The Guard. Yeah. Him and his wife are just like beyond intelligent. They're like if you've ever seen Gilmore Girls and you're like, how are these people who live in this, this podunk town this smart?
Yeah.
That's Michael Pena and his wife are that level of, intelligent. It's really kind of funny. And it's used for humor too. But the other actor who plays Michael Pena's, other half, not his wife, his other half in the cop world,
easily the weakest of the Skarsgårds.
Yes, weakest in acting ability, strongest in looks.
Yes. Yes.
Alexander Skarsgård, what he lacks in acting ability, he makes up for in looks. However, he is no Brendan Gleeson.
No.
And this I think is the weak link, because this and the fact that like the movie's pacing is so kinetic. It's so go, go, go. There's very few there's very few scenes that kind of breathe and fill you with a sense of, what's really going on, what's kind of getting at, what's behind these characters.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Skarsgård's character, he's supposed to be kind of a sad boy. There's supposed to be some hurt in him, but that's not really developed in the same way that in The Guard you have him and his mom, and you see the love for his mom. And I think that's where The Guard becomes a more effective movie.
Well, there's no warmth in Alexander Skarsgård's character, whereas there's spades of warmth in anything Brendan Gleeson plays.
Absolutely.
He just exudes warmth. Even when he's playing a horrible person. Like
yeah. And I don't mean to be so hard on Alexander Skarsgård, because
I think he does a perfectly fine job with what he's given.
And he he's good with Michael Pena, and they're good together, and they have a lot of banter that's interesting. But yeah, the character and him just aren't as interesting as Brendan Gleeson's character in The Guard. So,
and whenever Paul Reiser can steal a scene, you might be doing something wrong.
Yeah, I had forgotten that Paul Reiser.
I had forgotten it too.
In this.
I did not remember. Yeah. And I'm kind of surprised that he was in this. Like, just knowing how many minefields that movie has.
That's true.
I mean, I could say the same for Tessa Thompson too.
That one surprised me as well. Although this was like one of her first, kind of bigger vehicles, and so, I think you get this a lot with big stars where, well, not in Paul Reiser's case. In Paul Reiser's case, he's in the twilight of his career, but I do think you get that in some cases where some big stars will be maybe a little more experimental at the beginning and stuff. But there were some really laugh out loud moments in this movie, though.
Yes, I mean the whole doing crack in the bathroom with what's the guy's name? Their informant. I can't remember his name. But whenever they hear the cop sirens, and they're like, oh, crap. And then they realize that they're cops, and they start laughing. I love that whole scene. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, that scene is really good. It's Reggie, their informant.
That's right.
Yeah, and both Kira and I busted up laughing when they find Reggie in Iceland. So this is. One of the like the unbelievable things about this movie is that they could just they're trying to get a bunch of money, they're trying to like score a bunch of money, but they also have infinite money to kind of do things. They can fly to Iceland, anytime they want. Again, cop fantasy, and so they're looking for their informant Reggie, who is a black man. And they fly to Iceland, and at one point, Alexander Skarsgård is like, so what's our plan to find Reggie? And Michael Pena is like, well, he's in Iceland. We know that, right? So we're just going to sit around until until we see him. And then Alexander Skarsgård is like, that's not much of a plan. And he's like, yeah, well, how many black people can there be in Iceland? And then Alexander Skarsgård's like, I don't know, this really doesn't. And as he's like pushing back, Michael Pena's like, oh, there he is. And he just shows up. And just the kinetic energy of that is really, really funny. So, yeah, there's some very darkly humorous
it's
moments in this film.
I mean, so the closest thing, let's put it this way. There are still comedians out there that say really, really offensive shit and have somehow avoided general cancellation. Like, for instance, Bill Burr. And I view this film as the Bill Burr of films. I feel like they go to all the places. Like, all the places. And they make fun of all the things. And in the most, like, not careful ways. and yet I have not heard a single person who has seen this be all that worked up about it. So
not only that, but both this movie and Three Billboards are essentially about focus on cops, and this is kind of around the time that we started seeing really high profile cops doing shitty things, and we started kind of realizing how the cop system is built to protect them from any sort of accountability towards this, and that had led to and still continues to lead to bad people being protected by these systems. And specifically War on Everyone, that's who these are the bad people.
Yeah,
like the main characters, they're the bad people. The movie does the narrative trick where it's like, okay, these are bad people, but we're going to make the other people worse. We're going to make them pedophiles. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Because
then
there's nothing worse than pedophiles.
There's nothing worse than pedophiles. And, part of me, again, just kind of wonders if John Michael McDonagh was like, I just want to make, not that this is an easy film, but like, I don't want to do a lot of brain work. He's coming off of Calvary, and he's like, I just want to, like, put some jokes together and let them fly, and so.
But I mean, man, there's some jokes in here, man. Some jokes I was like, oh, wow, yeah.
Okay, so jokes. That's what works about this movie.
Yes.
What doesn't work about this movie, Blake?
I honestly got a little bored by about 3/4 of the way in. I was like, okay, like frenetic. Now I'm just tired and bored. Get to the end. So, I think to use a crude analogy, it shot its load too soon. And by the end, I was like, okay, well, that was perfectly fine. I got some enjoyment out of it. I thought it was funny and whatnot, but it's definitely the weakest of all the films we've seen by a good portion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think it had a central enough thematic push for me to be carried all the way through the movie. Like, there wasn't something I could hang my hat on by the end of it. It felt a little bit like cotton candy. It's kind of sweet in the moment, but then it kind of disappears. And I honestly didn't think about it much in the last week. So, which is not the case with Three Billboards. I think about that film quite often, actually. So
yeah.
But yeah, it didn't really stick with me. It was too frenetic, without much character work, and yeah, it just felt like a lot of jokes, and that's fine for an hour and a half of entertainment. It works. So, how about you?
I think what you mentioned there is maybe originally when I watched it, what felt so out of place was the frenetic energy of it, which is it's just go, go, go. The pacing is go, go, go. And that felt so weird coming from Calvary, which is a very, very slow and intentional film. The pacing is particularly metered out. Like there's breaks by the day and things like that. So this definitely feels like the opposite of that. And yeah, it has the ironic consequence of being kind of boring. Once you're like, okay, yeah, that's funny. You
get on the wavelength, and then you're like, oh, that's all there is. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? It just seems like that's the movie he wanted to make too. Like, I don't think he failed at what he was trying to do. Oh. But yeah, it's just a light thing.
And if nothing else, I got to watch Michael Pena for an hour and a half. So
yeah.
Which is always a joy.
Always a joy. All right, so Three Billboards.
You mean Billboards?
Billboards.
I should make a movie called Three Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. and it's about like three Borgs named Bill outside of a town called Webbing in Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Any of you studio people listening, feel free to give me a call. We can ride off of the controversy of this film.
Yeah, not only are we podcast makers, we're also filmmakers.
Yes.
If you give us enough money.
Not filmmakers, film idea makers. Filmmaking takes too much effort.
Don't sell yourself short. If you could point an iPhone at something, you're a filmmaker.
Yeah, but I don't even know what mise en scene means. So, and I used to write film reviews. So...
You know what? It doesn't matter. We'll just make our own definitions.
Beautiful. I mean, we are the field recording of movie podcasts.
The field recording of movie podcast. I love it.
Yeah, Three Billboards. I love this film when I first saw it. And apparently everyone who originally saw it at Cannes, I think it was, loved it. And then something happened upon its release, in its mainstream release in America, and it took a dive in popularity. And I don't remember exactly the specifics around the controversy with it. I have vague recollection of it getting accused of downplaying black characters or being too positive towards the Sam Rockwell character and his redemptive turn, if you could call it that. But I don't remember much else. Like, I just remember that there was a fury over it, and it kind of put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths after a while with this film. I remember I wrote a piece on it. I was one of the few people that remained a fan of it at the time. And it didn't get read very widely for obvious reasons. So, do you remember anything about this movie? Like, did you see this when it first came out?
I did. I was a pretty big fan of Martin McDonagh at that time, so I was definitely going to see it. Mm-hmm. And I remember it actually being pretty popular with like the critics and also the audiences, and I don't remember it really getting the pushback until it was picking up steam for the Academy Awards.
Gotcha. Maybe that's what it was.
And you know what? I think like both you and I remember that there was there was a lot of negativity about this film at one point. But I was looking at the IMDb score, which is, a catalyst for how general people think about this movie. It's a user score or whatever. And it's Martin McDonagh's highest, I think. I don't know. It's pretty high. It's higher than his most recent film. That
actually makes sense, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe this is aging better than it seemed at first, but I don't know.
Would you say that this is his most accessible film?
Accessible?
Mm-hmm. I'd say it's either this or In Bruges, but I would say that it was probably this.
Probably. I kind of feel like Seven Psychopaths was the movie that he thought was going to be his most accessible one.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, it's a pretty impenetrable wall.
Yeah. But it did have, the most star power. Well, I guess this has some star power.
I didn't.
This actually
I
shares.
never heard of any of these people before I watched it.
This shares a lot of characters with that movie. You have Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
You have Woody Harrelson's wife, Abby Cornish, who I learned is a rapper named Dusk.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Have you listened? That seems like it might be cultural appropriation.
Dusk? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe...
A white... Is she Welsh?
She's Australian.
Oh. A white Australian doing rap? Doesn't that count as cultural appropriation?
I don't know. I think you should ask...
Dusk?
Not... Isn't it Iggy Azalea? No. Who is... Yeah, it's Iggy Azalea. Azalea Banks is the other rapper. I get them mixed up.
Well, and especially it got really confusing whenever they got on the Twitter war with each other.
Yeah. Do you think they got on the Twitter war because of their names? The similarity?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair concern to get into Twitter wars with people who share similarities of your name.
Yeah. That's why you and I get along so well, because we don't share similarities and we never got in a Twitter war.
That's right. And let's be honest, you didn't tweet all that much.
Nope.
I tweeted way too much at the height of my Twitter use.
I overthink my words way too much when I write them out into the world. And so I couldn't bring myself to post anything. The irony is that, like, it didn't help or hurt the quality of what I was writing. So I should have just posted more, I guess, if I wanted that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I was constantly in my head about things. So I just tweeted jokes.
And they were great. I especially appreciate your sliding into the DMs joke.
I don't even remember that one. Oh,
you said
man.
something about sliding in. He slid into your DMs and fell and cracked his head on the floor and was bleeding out everywhere. Something. Call the ambulance. I don't remember. It was in that same vein, and I thought it was hilarious.
Oh. Man, I wish I could remember because
Those were the days.
Anyway. Yeah, so there were Australian rappers in this movie. Sam Rockwell is in this movie.
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else that was? No, Caleb Landry Jones was in Seven Psychopaths.
No, but Caleb Landry Jones was in War on Everyone.
Yes, he was.
And I didn't want to bring him up because I knew we were going to talk about him here.
Yeah.
But
he's a fascinating actor. Specifically for the roles he plays.
I am a full-blooded Caleb Landry Jones
I think he's
fan.
good. He's really good. And he tends to be one of the standouts in most of the movies he's in. I remember the first time I knew of him was Get Out.
Oh yeah.
And I was wowed by that performance. And then I started seeing him everywhere. I think actually it was this movie where I was like, oh, he's going to be in this one. That makes me want to see it more. And so, yeah, he's great, and he plays. Man, his characters are often indescribable.
Yeah, they're pretty indescribable. Actually, like, what's interesting is he steals the scenes that he's in this movie, but he's so much more subdued than he normally is, too, in this film, which is kind of bizarre. He, like, and if you watch both of these movies, if you watch War on Everyone, you see kind of that range of how flamboyant he can be in War on Everything, and then he is a lot more measured in this one.
Yes. Yeah. He's very subtle.
Yeah. Which I have written down a note. Caleb Landry Jones is greater than Barry Keogh. Because I think of these actors as kind of filling similar vibes. But yeah, I think I'd land on the Caleb Landry Jones. And both of them have been in McDonagh Bros movies. So
yeah, we haven't gotten to the Barry Keogh role yet. That'll be next. But yeah, I would agree. I think Caleb Landry Jones is easily the stronger of the two.
I just think he has more range, whereas, like, I've enjoyed things that Barry Keogh has done, but, like, it's mostly just kind of the same twitchy role, you know. And it fits in some movies. Like, he's in the Green Knight, and he's great in that.
He's in the killing of the sacred deer or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and he's
effective.
In that one. Yeah.
Yeah, effective in that. So, you know, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but yeah,
let's be honest. I mean, if you think about actors if you kind of put a detached take on them, they play a similar role in all their films. Which one would you rather watch, Barry Keogh or Tom Hardy? Tom Hardy.
I mean,
hands down.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
I don't know how he does it, but that man has range without having any range.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's Tom Hardy roles, and then there's Bane.
Yeah.
Which is, Bane feels like someone trying to do Tom Hardy in a movie, but like a weird bastardized version.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry I'm getting us off topic.
No, that's what we do, man. That's what we do. But yeah, Caleb Landry Jones, we're introduced to him because, so maybe this movie has a little more going on than War on Everyone, which we didn't explain the story behind War on Everyone.
That's because
you don't need to.
I don't really think there is a story to explain.
It's cops versus pedophiles.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know. This movie has a little more on its mind, has a more interesting story. So this movie, it is about, if you have never heard of it, it's about this woman played by Frances McDormand, who, her daughter was very recently, within the year, raped and murdered.
While dying. According to the Billboard.
Yeah. And I realized watching it that it's actually very close to her house. So it was only like, I don't know, 300 yards away or so. And you know, more develops into like, you know, why this happened, or you know the circumstances around how this happened and stuff. But you kind of start the film very I don't know, 6 months later, and she goes by this place, she sees these billboards, and she gets this idea. And then she goes to see our very own Caleb Landry Jones, who runs the billboard business in town, and she rents them, and they are 3 billboards, and I'm trying to remember exactly what they say. Do you remember the in order?
Not in order, no.
Oh, I remember. The first one says, calls out the sheriff, right?
I thought that was the last one.
No, it's the last one you see, because how it's introduced is...
That's right.
Sam Rockwell is driving up. He sees people putting up a billboard, and I think the first one says like, oh man, I'm biffing this. Yeah, I don't know. But I think it. Does the first one say raped while dying? Or
no, I think it said something to the effect of like, it's been 8 months or something like that. Oh, man.
Yeah. How much longer? And then the second one says raped while dying. And
then say
like
why Chief Willoughby or whatever.
Yeah. Then the first one calls out Chief Willoughby by name.
Yeah.
And that starts kind of a firestorm across the town, because it's basically like, you know, it's putting shame on all of these cops, you know. So.
And that's all you need to know about that movie. Go out and watch it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Yeah.
So so the the part of the movie that really just continues to come to mind often is her speech to the priest, which I find so humorous, because this is another example of, I feel like, the two brothers having conversations with each other in their movies.
Sure.
Because she's talking to a priest about pedophiles. And right after, this is his next movie after his brother released Calvary, which is about a priest taking on the debt of his fellow priests' actions. And so and she basically says to the effect of like, I read this thing about Crips and Bloods, and how the cops started to crack down on them is, if you had any connection to them whatsoever, and you were anywhere near a crime committed by either any of the gang members, you were held liable. And all this stuff, and she basically says, so she ties it to the priesthood, says like you've joined the gang, you wear the colors, you're just as liable as the rest of them.
Yeah.
And she's making a point about, cops and like what we would call systemic injustice, the idea that like you can't just say, you can't choose to point out an individual as being the exception to the rule in certain circumstances, and then avoid it in other circumstances. You have to be consistent and say, well, no, just because this one cop is good, it doesn't negate the fact that the system is broken. And so that whole speech just gets me every single time whenever I hear it. I'm like, damn. And the way she delivers it, it's just like that whole like fuck you attitude that only Frances McDormand can do.
Yeah. Well, especially because the priest comes in to kind of like shame her for having these billboards up, because one thing that's undeniably true is that this Chief Willoughby character is a good man. Like, and the movie takes great pains to paint him as just really, a wonderful, wonderful character. But
a potty mouth, but a wonderful character nonetheless.
Sure. And he's a potty mouth even around his daughters.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think he's one of the more interesting characters because there's still a finiteness about this person, and he's not perfect, and it's not for lack of trying too.
Yeah.
And I think about like, attitudes towards cops and how we have such a strange like glorification of cop culture and things like that. We do this for military, we do this for anyone that kind of carries a gun and carries like a forceful item. We like to kind of put them on pedestals and talk about that, whether or not it's actually more dangerous to be in that position than other positions. We like to kind of create these myths, and I think you get this with this town, like kind of piggybacking on what you were saying. This priest kind of comes in and tries to like tell her this myth that the chief of police is a good man. He's this savior of the town almost, and everyone who knows him loves him. And the thing is, like, she sees through that, and Chief Willoughby sees through that too. He knows that he's not that way. He knows that he can't live up to that.
And even more, she knows he's a good man. Like,
yeah,
she has no doubt that he's a good man, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Like,
the point is that for whatever reason, the system has not brought any sort of justice to her daughter. And Chief Willoughby has taken upon himself the mantle of the system, and he is the line that sticks with me is like, well, he's the leader. The buck stops with him, Mm-hmm. And I think about that a lot, and I think about how, I think in a lot of like leadership roles, we have this skewed sense of like, oh, that means they get to be king, and I think no, it means that anything that goes wrong, they have to have an answer for that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think this movie has really kind of stuck with me in that way. Like I think about that line a lot.
When I even think about that, because in another way, the another part has stuck with me is that it's a really strange moment of tenderness between Frances McDormand and him whenever he coughs up blood and he coughs on her face and you hear in her voice like, oh dear, oh baby, like and she's like going to get him something to like to wipe his face and like it's very clear that she's not seeing him as an other. Like, she clearly cares for the man on a very human level, which makes the story of her choice to put the billboards up and to pinpoint him even more fascinating.
Yeah.
And it shows, we find out towards the end, that someone mysteriously pays for another month for the billboards to remain up. It's a secret person. No one knows who it is. And she finds out from the letter he writes that he paid the next month. And so, you know, he clearly understands what she's doing. Like, he gets it. And so that's the thing that I think that keeps me coming back to this movie is the understanding that those two share. Like,
yeah,
there's no ill will towards the other. Like, yeah, of course he's frustrated by it because that's his role. He's the one who has to answer. Like you said, the buck stops with him. He has to have an answer. And so
it turns up the heat on the town, you know, and it's not exactly a great look, and it's you know, he is dying, and it's the last thing that he wants on his mind, too.
And part of me thinks it's the last thing she really wants to do, but she's got no other options.
Yeah.
And so,
it's, man, the parallel between this movie and Calvary too, just in the whole, like, it's spelled out at the beginning of Calvary, like, why would I kill a bad priest?
Yeah.
That's not going to get anyone's attention. Mm-hmm. I need to kill a good priest, and then people are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And Frances McDormand isn't going to kill anyone. She's not trying to kill Chief Willoughby, but she knows that he's a good man, and that's exactly who she wants to put the heat on.
Yep.
Because that's what ruffles people's feathers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what causes change is I guess what both of these brothers are saying is that if you want change, you have to kill something good.
Would you would you say that has religious overtones?
I don't know. I feel like that's the most Christian thing that has come out of my mouth in a really long time. So yeah, I would definitely say that both of these guys can't get the Bible out of their head, specifically the gospel.
And specifically because they're Irish. I mean, their whole country has been brought to its knees because of religion. Like, because of a division in the Christian religion. Like, and admittedly, you can make a point that it's actually not about the religious beliefs, it's actually political, and you wouldn't be wrong, but it's still there. Like, the distinction is still there. And the whole country is, or both countries are steeped in their religious belief. I mean, it's everywhere. Like, even those who don't believe still hold to a lot of the same traditions that were brought due to Christianization. So it's very much on the mind, whether it's conscious or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps this is a good because I feel like we've given three billboards a little bit of an easy go of it. What's your
Sure.
thoughts on the Sam Rockwell character?
My thoughts on the Sam Rockwell character. I think he is. I like him. I don't necessarily like his resolution.
Yeah, it felt a
And
little easy.
yeah, I think there. I actually watching it this time. I had a lot of sympathy for his character because I get, growing up in a rural area, you know people like this who aren't smart, right? And I'm not just talking like, they're not geniuses or, whatever. Like you and I, we went to college, we got got the degrees higher than bachelors. Like we are smart people, like whatever that means in a class sense.
Yeah.
There are people that don't ever kind of attain that, and those people are plentiful. Like, and I think a lot of times script writers don't include those people in their stories, or they include caricatures of them. Like, for example, going back to War on Everyone, the cop and his wife are just friggin' geniuses, for whatever reason. Like, I think it's so easy for these very, very intelligent film writers to just slip into this mode where everyone is like someone that they would want to spend time with.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell's character starts out really not like that.
Yeah.
He is, you don't know if he's graduated high school, and he lives with his mom, and he's happy doing that. But you could tell, like, he, at one point he wants to be a detective, but he will never make it to that level. Like, maybe. And Chief Willoughby has some sort of faith in him that he could do that. But the chips are stacked against him to even, maintain his job,
The chips and the complete lack of opportunities afforded him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the ending and the resolution is a bit too easy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ring true to the character that they've built, because he basically kind of gains 5 points of intelligence just out of the air.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, kind of one of the big weaknesses of the film.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Yeah. And I remember this being not an issue for me the first couple of times I watched it. I think I actually went to see this one twice in the theaters. And this time around when I watched it, that character felt that whole storyline felt a little bit maybe not on the nose, but it didn't feel honest in the way it needed to be. Like the whole storyline between Chief Willoughby and Frances McDormand rang true through the whole film. Like that nothing in that made me question scripting or characterization or anything like that. But the second that he gets the letter from Chief Willoughby, and he gets tossed off the police force, from that point on, like, I'm like, like you said, it does seem like he all of a sudden gains, like, detective powers. And you're like, would he have actually really cared? Or would he have just gone home and spent the rest of his life drinking beer out on the porch with his incredibly racist mom?
Yeah. Maybe with, maybe with some more adversity in the story, a little more work, you could have made it believable. You could have made a believable turn somehow. But
he
yeah,
needed to be put through the ringer a little bit more than what he was, in different ways. Like, violence wasn't going to do anything to him. So.
I do want to shout out who's his mom played by?
Is it Charlie's mother? Charlie's mother?
It's
it's
Mac's
Mac's
mom.
mother. Yeah, mom, and It's Always Sunny. I remember loving that choice because no one can play that part better.
Yeah, she essentially plays the same role again as Mac's mom.
Yeah. And yet Mac feels ultimately more believable to me than Sam Rockwell's character by the end of the film.
Well, to be fair, the crew of It's Always Sunny took, 13 years to develop back out of the closet finally.
Yeah, exactly.
In a very spectacular and wonderful way.
Yeah.
But it took, they definitely took their time and allowed for it. So
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this film. Even with that caveat. I think there's more. There's enough going on here that one minor character failure is pretty easy to forgive. So.
Yeah. No, I think it's a fine film, and there's a lot to dig into in it too. So I give it, one thumb because I've lost the other one.
Oh shit!
That's a forward promo for the next episode.
So, do you have any more to say about either of these films? Because I guess we should get to the ranking.
I think I'm good. Both of these movies are worth your time. All of these movies are worth your time.
Yeah,
you
can't go
I
wrong
would say
with any of them. You can get better than War on Everyone.
Yeah. If you skip one, skip Woe. So
exactly. But at the same time, don't. Michael Pena, man.
It fits really. It actually does fit really well with the guard, and it doesn't seem as out of place as it at once did.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. So, Jamison, how did these fare in your ultimate rankings?
Okay, so we have 6 movies, right, that we watched. So I'm going to start with number 6. Should be no surprise if you've listened to any of the minutes leading up to this moment in this episode, but I'm going to have War on Everyone at number 6. So
I'm going to go ahead and put it at number 9.
Okay.
I need a little bit of space between it and my number 5.
Oh, okay. My number 5 is Seven Psychopaths.
Okay.
Yeah. My number 4 is In Bruges.
Okay.
My number 3 is The Guard.
Okay.
My number 2 is Three Billboards for now. I think I had difficulty deciding which was my number 2 and which was my number 3. So that might...
Fair enough.
Those might switch next time. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is Calvary.
Which is no surprise. I think you and I are both going to have the bottom and the top the same. I would be surprised if that changes. But
it's a John Michael McDonagh sandwich.
It really is. I'm going to say pretty much the same thing, except I'm going to continue to switch out In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. Because I still think I like Seven Psychopaths just slightly better than In Bruges. And like you, it could very easily switch between Three Billboards and The Guard, because this last viewing of The Guard really promoted it for me. I really like that film a lot. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much in agreement on the whole. So, I'm really curious about this final week, because I feel like John Michael's getting back to the pacing that we're used to, and our boy Martin is getting back to his his playwright roots. So
yeah,
I'm more curious to see if we can make heads or tails of Banshees next week.
Well, not next week, right?
The next episode that we do these. Yes.
Yeah.
Which, who knows, depending on the birth, maybe a bit. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm also curious if we make that, get to make that episode before the birth.
Yes, the birth. I think we can make heads and tails of Forgiven. But I'm intrigued by Banshees, because I still don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I've watched it twice now.
I need to watch it one more time.
Yeah,
so.
I need to watch. I'm excited to watch The Forgiven again. And The Forgiven, man, that is a true flyby film. No one has seen it. I think even fewer people have seen that than War on Everyone, which is a damn shame.
It's a god dang shame.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm also interested to revisit and talk about those. So yeah. I think that's going to be in, I don't know, maybe beginning of September. Well, if we wait till the beginning of September, you might be busy.
I mean, I am taking 3 weeks off. So
yeah,
I might have some free time in between Screaming Child.
We'll see, Blake. Don't beat yourself up over getting this podcast out.
Oh, between the two of us, we all know who beats himself up. I feel like I'm the cause of more delay than anybody, and I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are worried about it. All right. Well, Blake, it was a pleasure, as always, to talk about movies with you.
Yes, I always enjoy it. And I feel like we made it all the way through this one without saying something really bad.
No, you're not going to trick me into saying more words like, yeah, I'm not going to say them. You're not going to trick me.
Like what word? What were you gonna say?
I was going to say some bad words that weren't like top tier bad, just shocking ones. But, you know.
Well, we say fuck all the time.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Are you talking about the C word?
I was almost going to say the C word, but I'm not going to say the C word.
That's fair.
You can't tempt me. You know who else can't tempt me?
Who?
This dumb app Satan that I keep trying to get to tempt me. So.
Why did you pay $3 for that, Jamison?
Because it was only $3 and it was so enticing. Oh man, I can't believe we're bringing this up again. I can't leave you guys hanging. If you made it this far, Blake showed me this app about texting Jesus, and I was so excited to try it. But then I soon learned that not only can you text Jesus, but you can actually text Mary, Joseph, and Peter. But those are all the basic characters that you could text. But there's a whole host of premium characters that you can text.
Including Judas Iscariot and Satan.
Yeah.
Or Satan.
Yeah. And I realized you could text Satan. And so I was like, well, I'm definitely going to spend $3 on this. I didn't make the mistake of forgetting to cancel it, though. So I have one whole month to text Satan. And then it's already pre-canceled. I've already left.
Didn't you already get flagged for having an inappropriate response with Satan?
Well, so this is what's frustrating about it, is when you start the conversation with Satan, he says, "Hey there, I'm Satan, the devil. How can I tempt you today?" And I tried to, like, get some temptation going, and whenever you talk to him, it's such a scam, because he says, he'll, like, say something like, "Ha ha, I'm the devil, blah, blah, blah," and then he'll be like, "But you don't want to follow me. You want to strengthen your faith by thinking about these verses." And it's just this, it's basically Jesus in a Satan mask. And so it's terrible. And so I was like, okay, maybe I could try again. And I said, "I want to look at horny emojis. Do you think God will be angry?" And that's what I texted him. And when I texted that, it just said, "Inappropriate query detected." And it wasn't Satan who said it. It was the
system.
System, because of the word horny. And Satan wouldn't reply. So I was just so disappointed that I couldn't even tempt the great tempter into tempting me. You know.
That's because he's not your dancing monkey, Jamison.
I think, yeah. You know what it is? The greatest trick that the devil has ever pulled was convincing me to pay $3 to try to text with him. So.
Well, on that note, I think we should end.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.